Hi everyone, my name is Amy Jo Goddard from amyjogoddard.com, and I'm a sexual empowerment mentor. And I work with people on developing their sexuality, creating deeper intimacy in their relationships, and more pleasure in their lives. And that's a pretty great thing to get to work with people on. And I've learned several things over the 15 plus years that I've been doing the sexuality education, mentorship, and coaching that I do. And I think that what I've really seen so much in my work is how many myths people have about sex and sexuality, and the beliefs that people carry about sex and sexuality that really hold them back from being the most vital, magnificent sexual person they can be. One of the really common myths that people have is that sexuality is something that just happens. That sexuality is something that either you have or you don't, and maybe you make good choices about it or maybe you don't. But then whatever is left is sort of what you get. And what I want to talk about is the idea that sex is a skill. Sex is learned. We actually don't come into the world knowing anything about sex. We don't come into the world knowing how to have sex, knowing how to have relationships, knowing how to figure out what our wants and desires and needs are around it, knowing how to communicate it. We don't come into the world knowing any of these things about sex. And yet people really approach sex as if it's the one thing that we all just instinctually understand and know how to do. And I think it's so interesting that we don't approach anything else like that. You probably wouldn't approach, learning how to cook or learning how to drive or learning how to play a sport or anything like that in the same way. We all understand that in order to do any of those things well, it requires having good teachers, educating ourselves, learning how to do it well, and then practicing it. And sex is no different from anything else. It's a skill. It's something that we learn. Certainly we have feelings that are inside of us. We have attraction, we have desire. We have a lot of things that are at work in us, and we have a vibrant sexual energy and sexual nature that is there waiting for us to tap into it and to use it in the world to be all of who we are. So we all have that naturally, but knowing what to do with it, knowing how to use it, we don't know that. Sex is a skill. So it's something that, just like anything else, you need to study, you need to learn about, you need to educate yourself about, you need to find resources or whatever it is that's going to help you take your sexual life to the next level. You need to learn, techniques and communication skills and relationship skills. There's a lot of things that go in to having a really vibrant sexual life. And you can have that life. Everyone can have that life. It's, no one is more entitled to that life than anybody else. It's all of our birthright. But we have to access the resources that we need in order to have the most magnificent sexual life that we can. And so if you've carried that myth, I want to really encourage you to drop it and to begin to see sex as something that is learned and something that you can learn to do better. Relationships are something you can learn to do better. You can learn to have all of the things that you want. It's not about just waiting for it to come and you're just going to receive it and then it's magic and it's there. It's something that you work at, just like anything else you care about in your life. So I hope that you'll take some steps to develop your own sexual skills this week. And thanks for tuning in. This is Amy Jo Goddard from amyjogoddard.com, your sexual empowerment mentor, and I'll see you next time.